Let's be honest for a second. You've probably been showing up, pushing hard, logging your exercise, your workouts in the gym. But if your numbers haven't been going up, something is off. And I'll tell you straight away, you're probably doing progressive overload wrong. Most people think that progressive overload is just adding more weight to the bar every single week. I used to think the same thing. When I come to the gym on Monday, I'd find a 2.5 kg plate and I'd add it to my weight on the bar because I thought that's the only way you can grow. It felt good until the bar stopped moving and I stopped increasing in strength. That's when it hit me. Progressive overload isn't just about adding more weight. It's about giving your body a reason to grow. And that doesn't always come from the weight on the barbell or the extra weight that you add. Your body doesn't care about weight on the bar. The only thing that it cares about is that if this week feels harder than last week. That's the game, and that's how real progress is made. And that's why I want to explain what progressive overload actually is. If you're doing the exact same things every single week, same reps, same sets, same weight, you're not giving your body a reason to grow. But the moment you make things harder, even slightly, your body is forced to grow stronger so that it can actually handle that extra strain on your muscles. And that's exactly what progressive overload is. And the mistake that you might be thinking is that adding weight on the bar is the only way to actually do this. But the truth is there are actually 6 different ways that you can apply progressive overload to actually still see progress. And that is reps, sets, weight, tempo, rest time, and your range of motion. Every one of these aspects can add a new challenge, and with that challenge, your muscles will be forced to grow bigger to handle that new challenge. So the first one is reps. This is the simplest one but also the most effective. Let's say you're doing 4 sets of 6 reps on your bench press. Instead of rushing to add more weight on the exercise, first try and do 7 reps on your last set. And once you can do 7 reps on your next session, try to do 8 and try to repeat this process until you get to 10. And once you reach 10, that's when you start to add more weight. That small climb of adding reps, that's what builds real strength and real progress. It builds muscle, confidence and endurance all at once. And that's one of the ways that I was able to go from 25 kg to 45 kg in my bench press. You can watch my previous video to see how I explained everything. And now the second thing that can influence progressive overload is sets. Now once you've been doing the same volume for a while, that's when you can start looking at your sets as well. If you've been doing 3 sets on every single exercise for the longest time and it's time to feel easy, adding another extra set can actually give you that push that will stimulate the growth in your muscles. You don't need to double it. You just need to give your muscles an extra level so that you can actually start to adapt and get stronger. But also don't add sets randomly. If your recovery sucks, you have a bad diet, adding more volume can actually slow you down. Only add it if you're ready for it and your usual 3 sets are actually becoming easy. That's how you can grow without burning out. So now let's talk about weight. And yes, weight does matter, but only once you've earned the right to increase your weight. When you reach the top of your rep range and your form is clean, that's when you can start to focus on increasing your weight by 2.5 or 5 kg. Not 10 or 20 kg. You just need to start with a small amount. Then drop your rep range and start climbing up again. This is also another way that you can apply progressive overload. And the fourth one is something that people don't talk about often, and that is your tempo. Tempo means how fast you lift the weight. And when you slow it down, that's when you can actually work your muscles even more. Try taking 3 seconds to lower the bar when you're doing a bench press and you will actually feel a difference. When I also started slowing down the movement of my exercise, I was able to focus on my form as well. I was able to control the weight even more. I stopped bouncing the bar on my chest and I was able to move the bar with the correct range of motion. And that brings me into the 5th one that can influence progressive overload, which is your range of motion. This one is simple. More distance means more work. If you're squatting, for example, and you only stop halfway, are you making your quads move the full range of motion? No, you are not. So if you increase that distance and you go even lower, that will stimulate your muscle even more and actually make you build stronger and bigger muscles. And the last one, and it might be the sneakiest one that you can apply progressive overload in, is your rest time. If you're resting for about 3 minutes in between sets, try cutting it to 2 minutes. You'll feel the difference immediately. Shorter rest times can make the same workouts harder, but also be smart with it. If you're doing heavy compound lifts, you should try and rest for about 2.5 minutes. But if you're doing lighter movements like lateral raises, you can rest for 1 or 1.5 minutes. It's not about rushing, it's about giving purpose to each set. And that's also how I'm able to keep my workout sessions under 60 minutes. So, with all this information, you don't have to change everything every single week. Stick to one aspect of progressive overload first. Then you start switching to another. If your reps start to stall, focus on your tempo. If tempo stops helping, then you move on to the next thing, which is your rest time. If all of that is fine but your sets feel easy, then you can start increasing the weight. This simple process is what keeps you progressing when everyone else has plateaued. And we've all seen those guys that go to the gym consistently, but they do the same things every single time. Same weight, same rep range, no increase whatsoever, and that's why they aren't progressing. So next time, don't only focus on the weight. Actually ask yourself, how can I lift better? How can I control the weight more? Can I do one more rep? Don't just keep your mind on weights, because that's one of the things that I also did in the beginning, and that's what hindered my progress. But once I started understanding the different aspects of progressive overload and I applied it effectively, that's when I was able to make real gains. You become the person you want to be by pushing through the times you want to quit.